How you doing? I'm Darren with Kickin Barbecue. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today, we're talking ribs. Now, today's cook is going to be a special one. This is my first smoke sesh on the Weber SmokeFire EX6 second generation. I'm really excited to see how this cooker does. And it's also going to be a collaboration cook with my buddy Tommy over at the Gallery Backyard Barbecue. He's cooking a rack of ribs on his Weber SmokeFire EX6 second generation. And so I will have a link for his video up top or down below. You can go and check that out and let him know that I sent you over there. I'm pretty excited to be doing a collaboration with Tommy. He's a great guy. He's an awesome cook. So be sure you go over and check out his channel if you haven't already. Now, we're going to be doing just a rib cook on this Weber SmokeFire, and I'm pretty excited to see how it turns out. Now, like I said in my burn-in video, the first generations did have some issues with the cookers as far as grease fires and stuff like that. Now, we're going to be keeping this rib cook very simple. We're just going to be using chicken fried barbecue, Texas rib grind, Bill Purvis's rub. I'm pretty excited to try it. This is the only rub we're going to be using. This is just going to be a good at-home eating rack of ribs. Now what we have here is just a rack of St. Louis cut ribs. This started off as a rack of full spare ribs that I trimmed down myself, went ahead and removed the membrane, just got it squared up and looking pretty decent. So that's what we're gonna be going with today. If you're curious how I trimmed this rack of ribs from a rack of spare ribs down to a rack of St. Louis cut, I'll have a video up top. You can go and check that out. It shows you a complete breakdown of how to break these down. It's really simple, but this is a very nice looking rack of ribs. It's very well marbled. We got some good fat on there, and I think it's going to cook up really well, providing that the Weber SmokeFire does its job. So let's bring you in and show you how we're going to prep these ribs up. All right, guys, so like I said, this is going to be a very simple cook, just some nice eater ribs. I like to start on the bottom. I'm going to take our Texas rib grind. We're just going to hit it. And it's got some really nice savory notes to it, some sweet notes. It's got some really coarse black pepper in there, which I love. I'm a big fan of black pepper. So we're just going to go ahead and get that pressed in, and we're also going to make sure we get our edges right now. Always get your edges. All right, now at this point, we're just going to flip it over, and we're going to hit the top. And because this is the only rub that we're using, feel free to go a little heavier with it. It's a good size rack of ribs and it can handle it. And like I said, we're not layering rubs on today. We're just going with one delicious flavor on these ribs. I love the coarseness to this rub. I love the black pepper to this rub. It's going to be absolutely delicious. All right, guys, we have our rack of ribs seasoned up. One thing I like to do is just make sure that I got all my edges, and I just use the excess on the board for that. So that's looking pretty good. Now I'm just gonna let these sweat out for a little bit, and we're gonna head out to the Weber SmokeFire EX6, get it fired up. We're gonna be running at 275 degrees today. I like to cook ribs at 300, but I'm gonna run at 275 today just because I don't know how that pit works and I don't want a grease fire on there. So we're just gonna run at 275, let it get some good smoke, and the first step, we're just gonna be cooking these to color. Once they have a good color and our bark is set, then we'll be wrapping them, but I'll bring you along for the process. So I'll meet you outside at the Weber SmokeFire. We have our ribs on the Weber SmokeFire. We're running at 275 degrees. I just kind of bunch these together like this, got them straightened out. How you put them on is how they're gonna cook. So we're just gonna let these go for about an hour and a half, and then we'll come out and check on them. So we'll see you guys in an hour and a half. So it has been an hour and a half. You can see our ribs are looking really good. We got some nice color. We're starting to get a little pullback down here. Now they are looking a little dry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just give them a little spritz just to keep them moist. The color's almost where we want. I'd say about another half hour or so, maybe 45 minutes, but they're looking really good. We're still running at 275 degrees. We've had a lot of nice smoke rolling on here. The Weber's been running flawlessly, so that's fantastic. So I'm gonna let these go about another half hour, 45 minutes. I'll bring you back, and then we'll get them wrapped up and see how they finish out. So see you guys then. So it has been 2 hours. You can see our ribs have fantastic color here. The bark has set, nothing's coming off when we touch it. So let's get these inside and get them wrapped up and finish off this cook, because I'm excited to try them and see how they are. You can see the SmokeFire is putting out some really great smoke even at 275. So I'll meet you guys in the house and we'll get these wrapped up. All right, guys, go ahead and check out that color. It's looking absolutely awesome. pretty even color all around. And then on the bottom, nothing is too burnt up, so that is fantastic right there. The Weber is doing a fantastic job, which I'm really, really happy about. I was kind of going into this wondering how it was going to go, but no issues whatsoever. Been running at 275 the entire time. And like I said, fantastic color on those ribs. So we're going to go ahead and get them wrapped now. All right, so to wrap these up, we're kind of running my normal process. We're just going to do a few pads of butter, and then we're going to do a little head country apple habanero. I like this wrap at home, just using some sauce, because the sauce has, you know, some sugar and, you know, all that stuff that people usually wrap with is already in your sauce, so kind of makes it easier just to use some sauce. Adds a little moisture in there as well. Now at this point, we're just going to go ahead, get our ribs on, and we're just going to wrap them up like we normally would. I got 2 sheets of aluminum foil here, heavy duty, and I like to just go over and over and just fold them up nice and tight right there. And at this point, we're going to get them back out onto the Weber. So we will see you guys in 1 hour. So it has been 1 hour in the wrap. We're going to go ahead and check our ribs now. We got some nice pullback along the bones here. We got a little bone starting to blow out here. That's usually a good indicator that they're done. I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, they're probing like butter. That's fantastic. Center bone there. If you're curious about internal temperature, it's about 205 degrees there, middle bone. So those are done. Now what we're going to do at this point is we're just going to slide this over here, and we're going to go ahead and grab our ribs. And look at that, absolutely wonderful, great color, nice pullback. Now what we're going to do here is we're just going to set them right there, and we're just going to let them sit in the cooker for about 3 minutes and get their color back. We just want to go ahead and get the color back on these. We want this to dry out. And then to sauce, we're just going to use this wrap liquid here. There's butter and sauce in there. I don't like a real saucy rib at home, so we're just going to leave this in here to keep warm. And we're going to let that dry out, and then we're just going to sauce them quick. So I'll see you guys in about 2-3 minutes. All right guys, it's been about 3 minutes. You can see right here the color that came back on those ribs. That's fantastic, beautiful color on there. So that's what letting them dry out a little bit does, and that is a fantastic color. So now all we're gonna do is just get our wrap mixture here, and we're just gonna sauce these up a little bit. And it's gonna be a real light glaze, but it's gonna be really nice and have a nice richness to it with that butter in there. And then it's got that sauce that we wrapped with in there. So this is just kind of how I've been liking to do it as of lately at home. Very nice looking rack of ribs here on this Weber. Very happy with how these are looking so far. And that is all we're gonna do for our sauce, so we can get that out of there. Now at this point, we're just gonna let this sauce set for maybe 5 minutes. So I'll pick back up in 5 minutes. All right guys, so it has been about 5 minutes. Go ahead and check out those ribs. Great color, nice glaze on them, nice pullback. And these babies are done. We are gonna get them inside, let them rest on the board, and then we're gonna do a taste test. So I'll meet you in the house in a little bit. All right guys, and here we are. We got our Weber SmokeFire ribs ready to go. They look awesome. Smell wonderful, have a good smoke smell to them, and I'm really excited to try them and see how the Weber SmokeFire did. You can see they're extremely tender, they're bending, they're not breaking. A little split right there. I think these are cooked very well. We're gonna find out when we slice into them. So let's just go ahead and do that now. Just go ahead and, yep, slicing like absolute butter. Gotta love it. These are some good ribs actually. I'd have maybe considered these for an extra set of comp ribs, to be honest. Check that out. We got a lot of moisture in there. We got a nice smoke ring, beautiful bark, great color on there. and I am very excited to try. That is a fantastic looking rib right there, if I do say so myself. And everything so far in this cook has shown me that the Weber SmokeFire is a good cooker, but at the end of the day, all that matters is taste. So let's go ahead and give this a try. That's a clean bite off the bone. It's tender, it's delicious, it's juicy, wonderful flavor from Bill's rub, the Texas rib grind. Really nice smoke flavor from that Weber. Kudos to them on that. That is a really good flavor on there. Go ahead and check that out. Nice clean bone. Really, really great flavor on those ribs. I'm very impressed with that cooker so far. Weber, you passed the first test. Great job on there. And again, just look at how great these ribs look. They look phenomenal. A lot of moisture in them, and that just comes from quality ribs. Go, you know, buy well marbled ribs, buy quality ribs. That's your biggest thing in cooking a great rib. But yeah, absolutely awesome. I'm gonna try this one because this is a big dog. Clean bite. Weber, well done. It seems like you've made some adjustments. Obviously, this is just the first test. We're gonna put this thing through the ringer though, and I'm really looking forward to trying it out. Again, fantastic ribs. If you haven't tried Bill's Texas rib grind, absolutely give that a try. This is my favorite kind of rib for at home. Not too saucy, just a good eating rib. Guys, also be sure you go over to Tommy's channel at the Gallery Backyard Barbecue and check out his video on his ribs on the SmokeFire. This is a really great collaboration. I'm glad he brought it up. Thank you, Tommy, for that. I really appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to see what we're both going to be cooking up on this SmokeFire, because if I know Tommy, which I think I do, he's going to be putting that thing through the ringer, and so am I. And we're not going to hold anything back. So first test, Weber, you passed. Now we got some more work to do. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, stay safe, and I will see you next time.